Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
It's Tuesday night. It's time for the New Balance Dockerty Cup. This is one of 10 games that are live here on this Tuesday evening on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. Across the games, we have 7 teams from Victoria's top flight playing. This is the only matchup that involves 2 top flight teams. It is St Albans Dynamo hosting Oakleigh, and we are very much looking forward to this from a rather chilly Churchill Reserve. A lovely night for football here at Fox Street. And with 2 top flight teams going head to head, we do have 2 very strong lineups that have taken the field here this evening. We'll start with St Albans Dynamo. They're coming off a 1-0 win against Green Gully, and they are in a bit of form of late. They've won their last 3 across all competitions, and while they've made 5 changes from the starting 11 that did take down Green Gully 1-0 over the weekend, there are plenty of familiar faces among the inclusions. So out of the starting 11, Marco Bullish in goal, Anthony Laban, Joey Monek, Atsushi Inoue and Nicholas Cook. All but Atsushi Inoue are on the bench this evening for Dynamo. Coming in, it's Christian Rossi back in goal. Ajak Dial gets a start. Emmanuel Peters, Mikhail Platt and Joshua Galevsky in the 11 tonight. And for the Oakleigh Cannons, it is the exact same starting 11 that got 2 late winners to take down Dandenong Thunder at home last week. They are the form team in Victorian football, Oakleigh. They've won their last 5 league fixtures, the last 7 in all competitions. They are undefeated in their last 9 across all fixtures. And so all the familiar faces for the Cannons are out here tonight. Joe Guest in the captain's armband. He is in great form at the moment, Joe Guest. The second leading scorer in NPL Victoria, Adam Djuratovic, is in the 11 as well. He's got 9 league goals to his name. Only 1 behind Bruno Fornaroli, who's found some form for Avondale of late. Fornaroli did score at this venue against Dynamo in the league a couple of weeks ago. We just saw Josh Galevsky there try to take charge on the Oakleigh goal, which is being patrolled by Tommy Manos this evening. The all-blue kit for the home team, Dynamo. All whites for Oakleigh. The Cannons' form has been simply stunning in NPL Victoria. Hoping that will continue now here in the New Balance Dockerty Cup. Both these teams did need to go an extra half hour in their previous rounds in the Dockerty Cup after being tied after the 90. And in both cases against teams from lower competitions. It was 0-0 after 90 between Dynamo and FC Melbourne Serbia a couple of weeks ago. Then the goals flowed after that, a 3-1 win after the extra half hour. Cruz Borg, who is on the bench, available as a sub tonight, scored. Lloyd Isgrove and Nick Cook. Cook is a sub tonight as well. Diaz goes down at the top of the area. Michael Oliaris is our referee. His guest has just casually looped one over the top toward the back post. It's safely gone into the hands of Christian Rossi. So plenty of quality on the park here tonight, especially for Oakleigh, not making a single change. It was 0-0 between them and Dandenong Thunder on the weekend, and then we got to stoppage time, and that's when finally they broke through. Connor Hampson getting on the ends of a Joe Guest cross in from a free kick, and then it was great to see Joe Knowles back on the score sheet as well for Oakleigh. He is a sub tonight for Chris Taylor, should he be called upon. Hampson, the long ranger for the inform Adam Djuratovic, who is offside. Aaron Anderson getting things restarted. Now Jack Dial back getting a start tonight for Dynamo. Good crowd in for this All-NPL Victoria matchup in the Dockerty Cup. Alexander Chepivorovsky, one of the new starters tonight. I think I failed to mention his inclusion in the 11 as one of the 5 changes from the team that took down Green Gully 1-0, a local derby on the weekend between Dynamo and Gully, who have certainly had their struggles. They've had a bit of an easier draw of late in the league. St Albans, they've taken advantage of that. Prior to the 2 wins, there were losses, both at home to both South Melbourne and Avondale. Heavy collision has Emmanuel Peters go down up against Jordan Hall. Galevsky out wide. Charan has a little bit of time here. Lebib was in front of him. Chepivorovsky will go with the short wide ball toward Gulevsky. Dynamo are just being patient here. Where can they generate the shot, if they can at all? No, it's a wayward ball from Galevsky in the end. That snuffs out that attack. It's a Tuesday training night for all the junior sides here, so a good vibe around Fox Street tonight. It's a really good crowd in. Couldn't think of anything better on a Tuesday night than 2 NPL Victoria teams going at it in the Dockerty Cup. Let's come back to Anderson. So St Albans did knock out FC Melbourne Serbia in the previous rounds. Oakleigh's previous match in these parts. They needed extra time to get past Sydenham Park. It was 1-1 at full time in that game. 4-1 in the extra half hour afterward. Peters will pounce in. Desperate lunging effort from Hampson to hold up. It was good defensive work from Hampson. Manos wants to clear away really quickly, try to put some pressure on St Albans. The target was Liston Diaz, who's been in good form himself at his new club. After a difficult campaign with Port Melbourne last year, resulted in the Sharks relegation. They now have their troubles of their own, Port Melbourne, since going down. Mr. Diaz, who maybe at times found it a little bit difficult to find his real place at Avondale, has now become a mainstay in this top of the table Oakleigh lineup and been outstanding this year. He's got 5 goals to his name in the league. He scored in the cup win against Sydenham Park as well. Jacob Tratt, Adam Dradovic and Joe Guest also on the score sheet against Sydenham Park in the previous rounds. So all the big names firing in the Dockerty Cup for Oakleigh. Connor Hampson, who scored his first goal of the season on the weekends against Dandenong Thunder. 2-0 win in the end, both goals coming in stoppage time in that game at Jack Edwards Reserve. Brody Boyce will be happy to let it go through to Manos. Hall. Boyce, long ball going down the line. Lebib hasn't had much to do just yet. Strong, and then the ball comes in now. Not quite dealt with by Anderson, and then we saw not enough bands coming from Liston Diaz in the end. He does like to score from range, Liston Diaz. He did that against Green Gully a couple of games ago, just a week and a bit ago. That was a 5-0 win for Oakleigh over Green Gully. Adam Juranovic scored 4 goals that night. That took him to the top of the Golden Boot table. Bruno Fornaroli now holds that spot as we speak. Juranovic does have 10 goals overall, once you factor in the cup. It's really good to see such a good crowd here. Obviously, the Tuesday night training for the junior teams is going to help that along. Just as many, if not maybe a few more than what you would get on a typical Friday night league fixture here at Fox Street. We have had this exact matchup already take place in NPL Victoria this year. St Albans hosted Oakleigh at the end of February in the league. It was a 3-1 win for Oakleigh. But prior to that, St Albans had some good form against Oakleigh. Won all of their last 3 going into that fixture earlier this season. So this is a matchup that Dynamo does like. But this Oakleigh team might be a bit of a different unit this year. Guest misfiring toward Diaz. Peters has a man on. Hampson all over him. Martinovic, good to see him back in the 11. He's been good for St Albans this year. Missed a couple of fixtures in the last couple of weeks, but he's back now. They've worked it out well. Weir, the scorer against Scully on the weekends. Anderson looking around. Played it all out to the halfway line. Martinovic. Joe Chelina has the captain's armband for Dynamo tonight. Joey Monac is on the bench. We may well see him later on. There are some very handy players on the benches tonight for both teams. And for Dynamo in particular, some regular starters. Joe Guest with a bit of space. Always a daunting prospect. Sinclair tried to go back to Guest. He will leave it for Labib. Guest now finding himself out of position. He was going to try and work his way back centrally. He does so now as it comes out to McGilp. They've bought themselves some time to reset Oakleigh. Hampson with Emmanuel Peters applying good pressure. Last touch off Peters. Oakleigh ball. Connor Hampson. Arms out, wanting something to come to him. Guest. Stopped in his tracks. Peters gets in the way of McGill. There was also Chelina getting in the way. Hampson in board for Diaz. Lost his footing all by himself there. McGill. Only picked out Chelina. Martinovic. They took the grounds eventually and are out of danger. St Albans, they've withstood the Oakleigh charge so far here tonight. Oakleigh have scored 30 goals in the league this year. Goal difference of plus 17. Since round 1, and that lost to Preston in their season opener. They've only lost one other game this year. Have Oakleigh Manos was on the back foot there. And Dynamo will be hoping they can pin Oakleigh deep here. No real shots generated just yet. Liston Diaz had one from range that wasn't really close to being on target. Other than that, not much to speak of in that respect so far. Connor Hampson. Peters going first time. Flicked back by Charan. It's Galevsky. McGilp did brilliantly defensively. It was a fair effort. We're going to get a corner out of it. First one of the night. Jerome Charan will take it for St Albans.
Hello.
It's been quite a while since Oakleigh been able to keep St Albans scoreless in a fixture. It's not an extensive history between these two over the years. Manos tipping one at the back, and then Anderson has his shot blocked. Another corner. Joe Guest doing the work defensively. So not an extensive history between these two over the years. You can't actually see any competitive fixtures between these two that aren't a league fixture.
Seppi, get Manny on the keeper.
Back-to-back corners for St Albans Dynamo. Lockie Weir will take it from this side. In it comes. Overhead of Dial. Shalina. Ball's tipped up. That's going to land in a very dangerous spot. Calls for handball. Michael Oliaris is our referee tonight. He waved that off. Galevsky going back. They'll take the ground. St Albans.
On the way. Swing. Manny, get wide. Here he is.
Dial. It was a good ball through to Peters, and now sharing it around to Sheparovsky and Kalina. We are out wide. It's Sharan. Landed it nowhere near Josh Galevsky. Mikhail Platt starting tonight. Here he is on the ball right now. He's given up the ball, but hasn't had much of a look in just yet. Mikhail Platt in and out of the starting lineup. 2 goals this season. Now in his second season here after coming over from Hume City. There is obviously a fairly healthy contingent from Hume City in this St Albans side now. One notable name that we haven't seen much of this season is Lloyd Isgrove. He's not in the squad tonight. Sinclair starting that run. Guess with the through ball. Doesn't quite come off. Platt. Charan. It's a good move around the first defender. And he thought Mikhail Platt had kept on going with him. We'll have to start again through Sheparovsky. Manuel Peters is going to have a rough time keeping that alive. He did get the throw. Connor Hampson happy to concede it.
Seppi, you're going to do that and he's forward, land at this side of him. Yeah, he'll come back around.
Liston Diaz concedes another throw. Martinovic trying to find a way through with not much room at all. Juratovic going back to go forward. McGill takes some late contact from Martinovic. All's fair in the New Balance Dockerty Cup. Diao. Anderson, the sweeping ball toward Sherrard. A lot of the traffic going through Jerome Sherrard on that left side so far tonight. The shot taken by Golevsky. First one on target for tonight for St Albans, but you're going to have to force Tom Manos off his line a little more than that if you want to score against the ladder leader in NPL Victoria. Good to see so many of the big names out here tonight, especially for Oakleigh. Not a single change in Chris Taylor's 11. Mikal Platt, how's this going to land for him? Jordan Hall closes in first. But again, Dynamo trying to pin Oakleigh deep in here. They were able to generate a chance on their previous possession in attack. They've given it back away to Oakleigh here now. Diaz. Dial. Peters. Platt's up ahead. As is Golevsky. He goes for Mikal Platt. And he's in the one-on-one with Hampson here. Platt. Good little flick back. He'll go towards the back post. That's into the side netting Jerome Sharan. But it gets the locals up and about here. It's been a really positive start for St Albans. They've had the better look at scoring chances so far here tonight.
Good. Stay on it.
Sepivorovsky and Peters. Golevsky won't get it to Chiran. The Biblabib there to pick it off for Oakleigh. Boyce, a bit too rushed on his ball. Sepivorovsky was there to reclaim it. Guest gets a boot in. Lockie Weir will take the throw. Chiran in midfield this time. Sepivorovsky unable to pounce. Here's the chance for Oakleigh on the counter. It's Diaz. And a really, really clumsy tackle, if you want to call it that, from Ajak Dial. Michael Oliaris has blown the whistle and nothing more. As Juratovic is the player that gets fouled for Oakleigh. And there are plenty of good options here for Chris Taylor's side. It's Joe Guest who is setting up this free kick. It was a Joe Guest free kick from which they scored their first of what ended up being two winners against Dandenong Thunder late over the weekend. But this is the set of range where he can go for it himself. Guest goes into the wall. McGilp with the presence of mind just to bide time and go all the way back to Manos. A high percentage option in the end instead of contesting the ball along that touchline. Diaz in board. McGilp was under all sorts of pressure from Mikhail Platt. Now Peters. Sepaverovsky went through the legs of Labib, then went himself. Manos is diving to his left. Again, more positivity here from St Albans. Cam Watson should be really happy with this start here tonight. Entertaining affair. An all top flight matchup here in the New Balance Dockerty Cup. Hope you're enjoying it so far on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. This is Josh Golevsky. Campbell Strong for company. And another corner for Oakleigh to handle here. All the scoring threats are from the team in blue so far. Lockie Weir will take this corner. The first corner from this side was taken by Jerome Sharan. Weir is the preferred corner taker. They've gone back to the convention here. Third corner of the night for Dynamo. Looking for a score against the league leaders in NPL Victoria. Weir will get a second crack. Maybe. No, he'll play back. Diaz. Guest. Just one player ahead. It's Labib. Labib is a long way away. He went to Juratovic instead. Dynamo defenses reset. Strong. Labib. The ball was in the direction of Christian Rossi. Michael Martinovic going back to Aaron Anderson. Anderson gets it back from Diao. Martinovic. Peters. Late lunging challenge from McGilp. It has crossed the line. It's gone out. It's another St Albans Dynamo corner. They're continuing to mount the pressure. But they're yet to get that reward on the scoreboard. Another Lockie Weir corner coming up. Michael Oliaris just holds up Lockie Weir. Gets things sorted out in front of the Oakleigh goal. Lockie Weir has the green light again. Fourth corner of the night for Dynamo. Back post ball played back centrally. McGilp clears out. Martinovic. Sepaverovsky going back to Weir, who sprays it high. Awkward one for Hampson. And Diaz had a hard time fully clearing it away. So another chance for St Albans to press. Chelina. Diao. Gets it back from Anderson to stay out. Rossi Harden down the line. So things just settle back down again here at Fox Street. Nearly through the first half hour. No breakthroughs just yet here on a Tuesday night. Sharan. Not far away from Emmanuel Peters being able to take some sort of chance. Listen, Diaz still limping a little bit after his defensive effort at the other end of the pitch. Tom Manos is getting ready to rip one down the fairway.
Nice and loud, AJ, nice and loud.
Joe Guest had the ball coming his way. Difficult to get a good grasp on it. This is Martinovic. Now is this going to land? Anderson gets there first, but only as far as Cam McGilp. Boyce. Hall. Habson going first time. Flag up. Goes up on Adam Djuratovic. Is there an issue for Tom Manos? The medico coming out to the Oakleigh goalkeeper. Zach Bowling, the backup goalkeeper for Oakleigh. Should there be an issue with Tom Manos? And essentially, we get a half-hour interval here. Not long after the half-hour mark. It has been an entertaining affair so far in a game that is, well, pretty much on St Albans terms here. They've generated multiple corners. They've had a couple of at least half chances. One shot that Manos didn't really have to do anything about. Another one where he did have to make a dive to his left. Jerome Sharan had one that went into side netting as well. It's been a positive start for Dynamo tonight. They do like this matchup. Aside from the 3-1 loss they suffered in the league back in February, they had won their previous 3 consecutive fixtures against Oakleigh, going back to 2024. There was a 3-2 win here in June last year. Charan, Joey Monek and Mikael Platt all scoring in a game that was 0-0 at half-time, and then 5 goals scored in the second half here back in June. Dynamo, who can be a bit of an enigma in NPL Victoria. They've, even this year, they had a win at home against Heidelberg. It's a bit of a mixed bag when they play, quote-unquote, bigger team. They have a win against Hume City on their record this year, but then disappointing fixtures and results against the likes of Avondale and South Melbourne. But the form line overall is pretty good, especially of late. They've won 4 of their last 5 across all competitions. including each of their last 3. Manos, a long way out of his box. Peters saw Manos out of position, so he went for it, and it took a touch off Jordan Hall's boot on the way through. That is another corner for Dynamo. Jerome Charan will take it. He seemed to be alternating between Charan and Weir. Joey Chelina will provide the short option from this corner. That allows Oakleigh to close in. Chelina eventually, after opening up the angle, fires in. System rest flag goes up. Michael Oliaris being assisted by Matteo Brazzali and Daphne Ganaris here tonight. Lazaros Pantelidis is our 4th official. Sam Crew, particularly Oliaris, and Laz is the 4th official in Oakleigh's recent fixture against Green Gully. 5-0 win for the Cannons. 4 of those goals being scored by Adam Djuratovic. Liston Diaz scored the other goal that night. Sepeferovsky, good poise there. Under a bit of pressure, Martinovic gets it back from Chelina. Patience from Dynamo. Oakleigh hanging back, allowing Dynamo to pass this around. Chris Taylor with full trust in his defensive structures, it would seem. In CT we trust if you're the Oakleigh persuasion, of course, with his outstanding record, why not? Peters goes down. May have inadvertently handled it as he did go down. Whistle went pretty quickly after he slipped over. Fair to say Tom Manos didn't find the fairway there. Into the rough it goes. Walewski losing out to Guest. Boyce pressured. Up for grabs here. And the numbers win out for St Albans as Joe Guest goes over. Mikal Platt now. Out wide for Peters, who's been threatening tonight. It's been a bit of a headache for Oakleigh as Emmanuel Peters so far. Back we go to Anderson. If it's not on, Dynamo are more than happy to retreat back and start again. Martinovic. This is Weir. Adam Djuratovic applies some kind of pressure. Ajak Dial. Now Martinovic, he essentially had a moment where he could have forced his way forward, but Liston Diaz closed in relatively quickly. Anderson, now Dial. Galevsky has shuffled over and further up the formation. Pinballs around between a couple of Oakleigh players. Strong and Hampson. Now Manos. Hall for Guest. Where does Jordan Hall go here? McGilp. Boyce with Charam. Not that far away at all. The bib now. Strong went to Guest quickly, and he misfired toward Lebib. There's been a slight lack of cohesion from Oakleigh tonight. It's a familiar 11, the exact same 11 that started against Dandenong Thunder.
We got Manny on the ball, playing for Dinamo. Dinamo. Do you reckon it's actually
Ball
recorded?
gets crossed in here, Djuranovic. Easy pickings for Christian Rossi.
Go on YouTube, check if it's on YouTube. Bro, if it's on YouTube, I'm going to drag it.
Ball back to the safety of Manos. McAlplatt was closing in quickly. Down the line ball for Diaz.
Do you find it?
That's become a bit inventive to keep that ball alive, and no matter how silky smooth Listen Diaz may be, he couldn't keep that ball in play.
Boys, they can hear you loud, yeah? No, on 5,
Oakleigh ball. Hampson has nowhere to go right now. Djuranovic played it down well to Diaz. Diaz was hot on Diaz's heels though and
Tell
cleared
Mons likes
out.
me a goal.
Kingsley Sinclair on the right side. McGill central. Hall to Hampson. Jordan Hall. Spent plenty of time in these parts. Formerly of Green Gully, of course. Astonishingly tough year for Green Gully, the mainstay in NPL Victoria. They went down to St Albans in a local derby on the weekend. They're out of the Dockerty Cup. McAlplatt sees off McGill, goes back to Galevsky. The old Hume City combo. Now McAlplatt is trapped. He finds an outlet through Peters. Sepivorovsky goes out wide. It's another Hume City man, Lockie Weir. Time and patience. We've already seen what can happen on the counter if they give up possession through midfield. Joe Guest can get off that leash and move really quickly. They're really weary of that Dynamo, and they're being really careful in situations like this. And here's why it's such an issue, because now Sinclair has a really good look. It cannons into the woodwork. McGilpin Hall. Kingsley Sinclair not far off at all from giving Oakleigh a late first half lead here. The best he could do was find the crossbar. McGilp denied by Peters. Manuel Peters Has played at such a high tempo tonight. Cam McGilt gets a yellow card. First caution of the night for Cam McGill, coming from Michael Oliaris. Approaching half-time. Good little mini fight back here from Oakleigh in the last couple of minutes. A half that has, for the most part, belonged to Dynamo.
Where is the commentator? How are they up there?
Throws a water to St. Albans. Mikhail Platt's not a bad ball back. But Chelina was tightly marked the whole time. Liston Diaz gets around Martinovic, but that's it. Reclaimed by Sepavorovsky. Galevsky losing out. Sinclair for Djuratovic. Adam Djuratovic being harassed by Weir. Hasn't had too many looks at Adam Djuratovic so far tonight. Understandable with the dominance in possession that Dynamo's enjoyed in his first half. We are approaching the end of the first 45. Lazaros Pantelides is about to reveal the extent of the added time. It looks like it'll be 1 minute. Laz Pantelides has confirmed that additional minute. Martinovic. Peters having a really good game so far. Just didn't hit that pass very well. And Sinclair makes his dash down. And a good mark taken by Christian Rossi. Good contested mark, that one, against Adam Djuratovic. Don't like breaking the Sharon rule, but it was such a good grab, I felt compelled. Looks like St. Albans and Oakleigh are going to be happy to get this through to half-time. No scores, some key chances missed. The most notable one only a few minutes ago, Kingsley Sinclair firing it into the crossbar. That was off a counter-attack, and it's been on the counter where Oakleigh have been most threatening tonight. Liston Diaz had a look early in the first half, tried to curl one into the top right corner, but ended up being a fair way off target. Jerome Turan found side netting. A couple of other shots that Tom Manos has been able to stop. It looks like we will be scoreless going into the sheds here. Is there one last chance maybe? Joe Guest flicking one in the direction of Liston Diaz. We've definitely gone through the extra minute that was allowed. We're still going. Michael Oliaris has not blown time just yet. Now we will. We've drawn out a bit, but we are at half-time now. I think if you're Cam Watson, I think you're pretty happy with that. But at the same time, clinical as always in defence, especially Oakleigh. And we are deadlocked at 0-0 at half-time here on this New Balance Dockerty Cup Tuesday night at Churchill Reserve. An all-top flight matchup. Hope you enjoyed that first half. Stay with us on the Football Victoria YouTube channel at half-time. It is St. Albans Dynamo 0, Oakleigh Cannons 0.
thought they were a better car at least. That's a regular. Probably not used. It's a regular car.
Oh, smell that weed.
Yep.
Welcome back to Fox Street. It's a Tuesday night in the New Balance Dockerty Cup. It is St Albans Dynamo hosting Oakleigh. And after a scoreless first half, as it gets chillier on this Tuesday night, only one team can advance. They both needed extra time in their previous rounds. Best chance of the first half was Kingsley Sinclair. We might get an early corner here. We will get an early corner here for Oakleigh in this second half. A clumsy touch from Jack Dow, and Anderson couldn't keep it alive, so we get an early corner here for Oakleigh. But the first half was pretty much dominated by Dynamo. Had so much of the possession, generated a couple of chances, but nothing that really truly tested Tom Manos. As I said, the best chance was against the flow of play. All of Oakleigh's chances really coming off the counter-attack whenever Dynamo made a mistake with their passing. From the back, and right on the line, Rossi's across. It has, it's a goal. The goal has been given.
Fuck me, man.
Some sort of fumble on the goal line.
What number?
It looked like Christian Rossi initially had it. And it's gone in. I reckon Brody Boyce was the one that got the shot away. And it's kind of out of the blue, out of nowhere. So the corner comes in toward the near post. Brody Boyce makes the run toward the post. Looks like he got the header away. Rossi seemed to have it on the goal line, but never fully grasped it. And it crossed the line. Somewhere in among all that chaos. 1-0 Oakleigh. Well, certainly an unconventional way to get our breakthrough here tonight. Brody Boyce has scored a couple of goals in NPL Victoria this year. If indeed you want to credit him with the goal.
Listen, go.
Everyone just a little bit stunned here at Churchill Reserve. Oakleigh looking for their second win at this venue this year. Already won the league fixture here back in February. Here's Mikkel Platt. Just shoves his man out of the way. Mikkel Platt then crosses in. Sharam was waiting. It didn't get through to him though. Follow-up ball here for Dynamo. Sepaverovsky. Golevsky. Charan. Chelina had the space. Closing in was strong to get the block in. And Manos couldn't keep it alive. It's a corner. And St Albans will be hoping they can score from a corner of their own here. Lockie Weir's keen to take it quickly. Sepaverovsky provides a short option, but I think Weir's looking longer than that. They're chasing an equaliser, Dynamo. It's popped up in the air. Jordan Hall put it up into the night sky. Liston Diaz goes down. There will be a yellow card for Jerome Charan. So Jerome Charan joins Cam McGill as the players carrying a yellow card out here. There were no halftime substitutions. Boyce going for the long ball. The bib can't keep that possession alive for Oakleigh. Well, is it a deserved lead? I mean, you may well argue that maybe it's not quite a deserved lead on what we've seen in the first 50 minutes of this game, but what's happened here? Weir's gone down. It'll be a free kick for Dynamo. And it wasn't a conventional goal by any means. Whether you want to credit Boyce with a header or potentially no goal because of the fumble from Christian Rossi on the goal line. Not sure which way you want to go with that one. Anderson. Galevsky against Sinclair. And then the clearance from Habson, who thinks it came off a Dynamo player. Will indeed be an Oakleigh ball. It's becoming quite a cold night here at Fox Street. 10 New Balance Dockerty Cup fixtures tonight. This is the only one that involves 2 NPL Victoria teams. 7 top flight teams in total in action. Plenty of action on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. The Nike FC Cup taking place as well. Plenty of options on your Tuesday evening. Mikkel Platt looking around. Joe Guest tracked him the entire time. Platt somehow extracted that ball out toward Galevsky. Sipovorovsky now. Galevsky. Can he fire a cross in? He certainly can. Well past Sharan, Mikkel Platt tried to do the whole thing aerially. Up above the light towers it went. Anderson. Ajak Dial. Wants it Weir. It's blocked on the way through. Counter-attack for Oakleigh. This is where they're most dangerous. Campbell strong. It falls all the way out wide. It's Sinclair again. It's over the crossbar. He went into the crossbar in the first half. Goes over here early in the second. Oakleigh lead here. Courtesy of some kind of mistake on the near post from a corner. Initial header seemed to come from Brody Boyce. And then Christian Rossi fumbled it over the line. After a first half pretty well dominated, possession-wise at least, by St Albans. But Oakleigh are the ladder leaders for a reason in NPL Victoria. And they lead here on a Tuesday night cup fixture. Peters. Sipovorovsky. Taking his time. Mikkel Platt's been working hard tonight, but hasn't been able to really generate any decent chances. Tom Manos' goal. Weir. Diao. Weir for Charan. Here's Joey Chelina with the captain's armband tonight. There are some very handy subs available to Cam Watson, including Joey Monek. We'll see when some of those changes might come through. Obviously, keeping in mind we may be playing 2 hours of football here tonight. Mikkel Platt, really good look, good save, Manos. Best chance of the night for Dynamo goes begging. Mikkel Platt had a long time to have that crack. It was a decent one as well. But Tom Manos was up to the task in goal for Oakleigh. Galevsky sees off Labib. Labib may have been hanging off him a bit too much. Michael Oliaris has not blown his whistle too much tonight. Sepaverovsky's been really impressive in central midfield. Platt's ball out wide, left a little to be desired. Galevsky, Charan. Where's Galevsky go here? Charan. No run coming through for Mikel Platt. And the through ball amounts to nothing for Jerome Charan. It's becoming a frustrating night for Mikel Platt in particular. Dinamo now find themselves chasing the game. There's obviously more than enough time here to get back into it.
Cookie, Monic!
Here's Lockie Weir. Plenty happening on Fox Street tonight, I must admit. Some sort of shenanigans. Right. Before the second half kickoff here, let's see what Joe Guest can do right now on the pitch. Out wide to McGilp. Cross blocked. Josh Galevsky is trying to shrug off Jordan Hall. Martinovic dashing down the right side. So many white shirts surrounding though. They'll go again through Chelina. Mikel Platt on the left. Labib for company. Mikel Platt, good cut back over to the right. It deflected past Joey Guest and then went up in the air. Comes back to the feet of Mikel Platt. Weir. Labib. Blocked by Weir. Goal kick for Tom Manos. First substitution of the night is Joey Monek. A more than handy sub, Emmanuel Peters. Worked hard throughout the first half. Makes way. And that move will give Dinamo a look and an 11 that is slightly more customary for them, with Joey Monek not starting tonight. But a good shift by Emmanuel Peters. Diallo Monek gets an early touch. Joe Guest. Quick flick toward Hampson. Didn't come off for Oakleigh. Mikel Platt gets fouled. Chelina. Anderson. Ajak Dowell. Saw off Juradovic. Galevsky. Labib cuts off Weir. McGilp. Knew the pressure was coming from Galevsky. McGilp goes again. Galevsky will win the battle. Well played, Josh Galevsky. Chelina couldn't keep it in St. Albans' possession. It belongs to Oakleigh right now. Liston Diaz. Labib crossing in. 2-0. Joe Guest does it again, as he so often does. Joe Guest scores in consecutive Dockerty Cup fixtures. It's 2-0. Cam Watson and his men have the task ahead of them now. And again, it's on the counter-attack where Oakleigh are most threatening. Their first goal came from kind of botched effort at defending the corner. Only a couple of minutes into this second half. That was a second goal that was off the counter-attack, which is something Dynamo have had to worry about all night long. Weston Diaz gives away the handball, then it's booted away by Brody Boyce. Will Brody Boyce get a talking to from Michael Oliaris? He will. Don't do that, son. Nothing more than that. All right. Dynamo need to make something happen quickly. Maybe not necessarily quickly, but I don't want it getting out of hand, that's for sure. We're only 2/3 of the way through. If this indeed is a 90-minute match here tonight. Rossi into the middle of Churchill Reserve. Lebib blasting down the line. Christian Rossi has it once more. Did replace Marko Bulic as the starting keeper tonight, but Rossi has been the number one choice keeper this year for Dynamo in NPL Victoria. There were 5 changes from the Green Gully game on Friday night. Both these teams last played on Friday night in the league. Oakleigh with a couple of late winners from Joe Guest and Connor Hampson. A 2-0 win, both of which, those goals coming after the 90th minute. Chelina had Anderson in space. Weir. Sharan, first time ball for Sepaforovsky, gets cut off by McGilp. He didn't get it through to Juradovic. Dayal was there for St. Albans. Chelina. Galevsky. Handball call against McGilp. McGilp, he's on a yellow card, but no, nothing worthy of a whistle from Michael Oliaris. Lebib, really good defensive effort. Diaz going inboard. McGilp gets bowled over by DL. Play will continue. Chris Taylor wasn't happy with that no call. Out wide we go. Joey Monek. He's the sub out there. Was that handled? It's waved off. The handball call against Connor Hampson doesn't get called. Tom Manos is asking for more help. At the back, he's screaming at his charges right now. Ball's up for grabs at midfield. Diaz was a high boot, but it's okay. Wins that battle against Diaz. Galevsky chipping ball over the top. And the follow-up from Sharan, but there was no one there. Monik was coming toward the near post. Mikael Platt was a few too yards back. A few too many yards back, I should say. Ball goes along the ground in the direction of Juradovic. There is a change coming from Chris Taylor. It's Joe Knowles who will come on shortly for Oakleigh. Such a welcome mid-season addition into this team is Joe Knowles. He scored it against Dandenong City last week. It looks like it'll be Cam McGilp. That would make sense. He is coming off relatively slowly, plenty of tape around the left knee. He also was carrying a yellow card here tonight, Cam McGilp. Slowly makes his way off. This is the first change for Chris Taylor tonight. Joe Knowles enters the fray. We now have a couple of gold medal winners out there for the Cannons. There is time for Dynamo. They've conceded twice in this second half after having the first half completely on their terms. It will be their inability to generate a decent chance that brings them undone. Mikkel Platt's chance earlier in this second half was their best look. He had a shot from the top of the box, forced Tom Manos into a really quality save. There is an attacking move coming from Cam Watson. It is Nick Cook who is warming up. Anthony Liban will come on as well shortly for Dynamo. Does Mikkel Platt stay out there, I wonder?
Keeping him honest.
Inbound the fullback. Inbound the fullback.
8 and 19.
Dio.
19 in front of me.
Platt pushed off it by Kingsley Sinclair, fairly in the eyes of Michael Oliaris. He's been letting a fair bit go tonight. Guest, Diaz. Just too much on the ball from Joe Guest. A couple of moves for St. Albans. Joey Chelina and Jerome Charan appear to be the players coming off. Nick Cook and Anthony Liban will come on. Charan was threatening at times throughout the night, playing in off the wing. Liban will just shore things up a little bit on the defensive end, replacing Joe Chelina, who's given up the captain's armband. Didn't quite see who he gave that to. Would be overly surprised if it's Joey Monek. Looks like it is Joey Monek who now has the armband.
AJ, come on!
Joe Knowles for Cam McGilp, the only move so far we've seen from Chris Taylor. The bib will take the throw. Down the line looking for Knowles. Well held by Lockie Weir. Dayu. Liban worried out of it by Joe Knowles. Knowles, it took a deflection. That should be a corner. It is. Wow, all of the attacking threats are now being generated by Oakleigh. The league leaders have just flexed their muscles in this second half.
Hey, get one sit in there. Hey, where the fuck are you going?
Yep.
Come back. Campbell.
Oakleigh corner. Could just about put it to bed if something comes of this one. Last corner they took from this spot did result in a goal. Christian Rossi safely collecting it. No fumble this time.
You can roll out there, get off Lockie. No one get rid. Joey, on it.
Weir won't find Platts. Boyce gets in front of Mikel Platt. Dayu, Weir. Nice ball along the ground for Sepeferovski, but he's surrounded by 3 Oakleigh players. Somehow it nearly still emerged. Campbell Strong ultimately kills it off. Dynamo trying to claw their way back in to this New Balance Dockerty Cup fixture. Dayu. Anderson. Anderson long for Weir. Kinds enough bounce for Lockie Weir. Sepeferovski. Laban. Monek. Weir. Oh no. Just giving it up.
Hey, kill it.
Just a small little mistake.
Again.
Long throw from the bib. Played on by Knowles. Monek had to work hard to keep it in play. Guest out of the corner of his eye toward Adam Juratovic. It's been easy to forget that he's actually out there tonight. Juratovic hasn't had much to do. Hasn't been overly involved. The second leading scorer in the league. Hasn't had much of a look tonight. There's a corner coming up right now, though, for Oakleigh. No, it's going to be Joe Guest or Joe Knowles. I'll get it right eventually. Joe Knowles to take it. Another Oakleigh corner. They're starting to pile up here in this second half as well. The header back in. Rossi's all over it. Sepeferovski not close enough to Mikel Platt. Knowles and Sepeferovski. The latter wins. Weir, Platts. His smack that's been shifting around a lot tonight. Mikel Platt. Anderson. Lockie Weir. Tom Manos was a little bit worried about that just for a moment. They've got to find 2 goals in a quarter hour here, St Albans. This is the only Dockerty Cup fixture being played tonight involving 2 top flight teams. Oakleigh won this fixture at this venue back in February. A return fixture is obviously on the schedule later this year. The sort of pattern template fixture that is used for NPL Victoria. Both these teams are in a similar sort of bracket. They get the same set of opponents in succession. So after Oakleigh defeated Dandenong Thunder on Friday, St Albans Dynamo will get Dandenong Thunder this Saturday at George Andrews Reserve. Dandenong City, Preston Lions and Oakleigh come after that in a very similar pattern for the Cannons. After playing Dandenong Thunder on Friday night, they will play Dandenong City this Friday night at Frank Holohan, then Preston, now Altona Magic, and St Albans. Next 4 league fixtures for the league leaders. You can throw in another Dockerty Cup fixture into that next run of games for one of these 2 teams. Next round will be drawn, I believe, tomorrow. We might get the next set of fixtures confirmed in the Dockerty Cup. More changes for St Albans. Marko Juric and Cruz Borg are coming on. Josh Golevsky is coming off, and it looks like Ajak Dayu is coming off as well. A little bit more of the youth now out there. Cruz Borg did score in the last Dockerty Cup fixture. Fixture that required extra time against FC Melbourne Serbia. It was 0-0 after 90, a 3-1 result after the 120. With Cruz Borg scoring alongside Lloyd Isgrove and Nick Cook. Nick Cook's been out there for a little while now. He was subbed into the game, has not really had a look at all since coming on. So the look up front right now is Mikel Platt centrally, Cook on the left, Joey Monek on the right. Cruz Borg playing up a little higher.
Just play the fucking ball, man.
Bring it up, bring it up.
Travel up, travel.
Keep coming, keep coming.
Big kick.
Yes, down in there.
I must admit, Dynamo haven't really looked like it in this second half. They need to turn the momentum their way, somehow. Joe Knowles was the one that provided the challenge. The call will go St Albans' way in the end after a few protests that you probably heard through our effects mic coming from the Dynamo bench. Sepafarovsky, that looked like a half-decent ball. Double fister from Manos as Mikel Platt was just lurking near the landing site. We are Anderson, Laban. No, nothing from Mikel Platt that time either. The goal kick eventually from Tom Manos. Sinclair. There's no one further ahead for Oakleigh. They've got themselves into a really comfortable position. And it's been turned over. Juratovic with the block. Out wide to Knowles. He crosses in. Rossi gets it away from the danger zone, but still a chance here for Oakleigh. Well done, Christian Rossi, that time.
Good here, good here.
Cook. Laban. Sepafarovsky. Joe Guest was not far away. Always a dangerous prospect, that. Here's Laban over the halfway line now. Borg. Joey Monek. Cross coming in over Platt. Cook not far away. Here's the Oakleigh counter-attack. It's Labib. Asking Joe Knowles to present further up. Enough of an effort to try and win it back from Juric. Knowles plays the way out wide. There was no one there in a white shirt. Nowhere near Liston Diaz, who still looks a bit proppy, I must admit. Liston Diaz has not looked 100% tonight. Some paperwork has been handed over from the Oakleigh bench to Lazaros Panthalidis. Brandon Giatrini is getting ready to come on for the Cannons. Cook. Juric had a difficult task there with no help. Juratovic outnumbered. I'd be surprised if Liston Diaz is the player coming off here for Oakleigh. Juric with the cross in. Knowles. As he picked out Juratovic here, it's a quality ball. Anderson tracked it back nicely enough for St Albans. We're into the 80s now on the clock. It's going to start getting desperate pretty quickly for Dynamo. Marko Juric. We are. Platt. Sipovarovsky. Cook, the target of the Weir cross in. Monak. Flag goes up. It is Liston Diaz that is coming off. A boot change for Joe Knowles as well. So Liston Diaz is going to be replaced by Branson Giatrini. He hasn't had quite as much of an impact tonight, Liston Diaz. He doesn't appear to be 100%. Maybe just put him on ice for the league fixtures coming up. It will be Dandenong City on Friday night at Frank Holohan coming up for Oakleigh. St Albans also an away fixture in Dandenong. That'll be on Saturday against Dandenong Thunder. The team that Oakleigh beats last Friday night with 2 late goals. And right now it might be 2 goals that have them see off St Albans Dynamo on this Tuesday night in the New Balance Dockerty Cup. Joe Knowles is still tying up his shoelaces. He's had a boot change. They're essentially playing with 10 right now, Oakleigh. Knowles now back into the fray. Here's Cook. Juric in board. Oh, Joe Guest. Right place, right time. The Oakleigh captain. He looks set to lead the song once more tonight, Joe Guest. Nice. Dynamo can pull something out of the hat here. They've got the time, and they've got the quality on the park. So hard to penetrate the Oakleigh wall. They've got 6.5 minutes of regulation time to claw these 2 goals back. Juric with the ball in, doesn't get through to Monak. Guest just placed it in the right spot well for Campbell Strong. Giatrini initially overrunning it, but it will be an Oakleigh throw. And the clock keeps ticking here at Fox Street. It's just hard to pinpoint where the chance is going to come from for Dynamo. Another ball that doesn't get through to Mikkel Platt. Manos, he's been so good tonight, Tom Manos. He saved particularly from the Mikkel Platt shot that happened fairly early in the second half. That was top shelf by Tom Manos. That saved what would have been an equaliser after the fumble from the corner. A goal that, I don't know for what the official credit's going to be, but I'm happy to give it to Brodie Boyce. But it was seemingly fumbled over the line by Christian Rossi. Second goal, far more conventional. The cross in that Joe Guest just tapped in. They got to score quickly now, St Albans. They can get 2. We'll get a bonus half hour of play here tonight.
Hey, Adam, good lad. That's your man. Just be aware of him. They can always go back. That's better.
It's going to be a shorter turnaround for Oakleigh. They're back playing on Friday night. 1 extra day's rest coming up for St Albans. Giatrini tracking it all the way through and earning a corner.
Lock it down there. Switch on. Too high. Too high.
And this will be the chance to completely lock it away for Oakleigh. Joe Knowles will rather slowly make his way over.
Hey. Well done, Brandon. Well done. Campbell, just sweep.
Joe Knowles in no rush.
Come on, man.
Corner incoming. Juratovic. It bounces and is collected by Christian Rossi. Joey Monic has switched over to the left. Doesn't find Cook. He picked out Labib instead. Sepaverovsky, challenge coming from Strong. Did win it back. Juratovic couldn't keep it in Oakleigh hands though. Sepaverovsky goes again, goes out wide. Martinovic. Platt moved over to the right now. Cook is central. Kruzborg alongside Cook in the formation at the moment. Juric has done some good things since coming on. Took the space on offer centrally. Sepaverovsky out wide. Platt will take the shot. Manos will make another save. Or at least get a glove on it to move it away from the goal face. A quick corner to be taken here by St Albans. Not to be taken by Joey Monic. It'll be taken by Alexander Sepaverovsky. Goes short to Monic. Got to score here, St Albans. Monic can go again. Second cross in. Tipped over by Manos. Another corner. There's still a chance here, St Albans. But it's got to happen quickly. It came to grounds. No shot fired. Another crack though for Dinamo. Cross in. Cook caught him behind. Laban. Martinovic. We'll get a second chance. Martinovic. Crossed in off the left boot this time. Boyce doing it at both ends tonight. And seconds keep coming off the clock. 90 seconds before we've reached the end of regulation. And Oakleigh are happy with where this sits right now. They are set for their second win at this venue against this opponent in the space of 2.5 months. Still a chance here for Joey Monic. It is the corner. Got to go quickly. Can't afford to think about it really. Just got to put one into the box and hope something good happens. Here we go. Boyce gets the touch. And a crucial follow-up. Giatrini's done some really good things since coming on. Guides it through to Labib. He's offside. No time to waste for St Albans. We're 20 seconds away from the 90. What number will be on Lazaros Pantelides' board? We're pretty close to finding out.
Slow down, just kill it.
Oakleigh throw. Labib.
Let's go, bud.
Come in, go.
3 minutes. 3 additional minutes to find 2 goals for St Albans. Stranger things have happened. Oakleigh scored twice in stoppage time on the weekend against Dandenong Thunder. It can be done. Oakleigh just winning the little battles right now. They've got another possession here, St Albans. They've just not been able to generate any really good chances tonight. Best one they had was Mikkel Platt, who fired a decent shot toward the right post, but Tom Manos produced a really good save. It was pretty early here in the second half. It's the best chance they've had. Laban, Cook, chopped down afterward. Set piece coming up for Dynamo. They got to take it quickly. If there's any time at all, they've got to take this free kick quickly and get a goal out of it. This is it now. If Oakleigh successfully defend this, they'll be advancing in the New Balance Dockerty Cup.
Nothing there.
Lockie Weir, it's got to be all or nothing for St Albans. Weir, he's kicked it straight into the wall. Knowles takes it away on his own. And that'll probably see us through now. Joe Knowles goes for the dash. Long range ball for Djuratovic, who's had a really quiet night. Adam Djuratovic, 9 league goals this year. Second behind only Bruno Fornaroli. It's a St Albans ball. But we are in the final minute of this game. They need to score twice. It's just not going to happen for them. That ball didn't get close enough to Mikkel Platt. So they'll be looking to bounce back on Saturday against Dandenong Thunder. We've got the last set of fixtures coming up this weekend where everyone will have played each other by the time we get through next weekend. The return fixtures will start after that. Oakleigh are through. 2 second half goals. The first one, which, well, maybe check your local guides to see who officially gets the credit. Brady Boyce, the header, which then seemed to be fumbled. Coming from the corner kick, fumbled by Christian Rossi over the line. It was deemed to be. That was the first goal. And then Joe Guest put away the second goal that sees NPL Victoria's table leaders advance in the New Balance Dockerty Cup in an all-top flight fixture on this Tuesday night. It's 2 from 2 for Oakleigh against Dynamo at Fox Street as well in season 2026 across all competitions. And they seem to have their mojo back against Dynamo, who had beaten Oakleigh in the previous 3 fixtures prior to their meeting in the league earlier this year. We are done from Fox Street on this Tuesday night. Hope you enjoyed it on the Football Victoria YouTube channel. Oakleigh advancing in the Dockerty Cup. They beat Dynamo at Dynamo by 2-0. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been Adam Sarikoglu with you. Hope it was a good night for you on the couch on a very chilly Tuesday. We are done from Fox Street. The final score, St Albans Dynamo 0, Oakleigh 2.